today we're going to hear a story about Mother Mary, the mother of Jesus. When Mary was a little girl, she wondered what it would be like when she was grown up. Years passed, and something happened that no one could explain. The angel Gabriel came to Mary and said, "God has chosen you to be the mother of God." What did that mean? She was preparing to get married to a wonderful man from Nazareth. His name was Joseph, and he was a carpenter. Then the angel Gabriel came to Joseph and told Joseph that Mary was going to have a baby and that the baby was God. Joseph was very confused. But he and Mary were married anyway, and the baby was born. They named him Jesus. Many more things happened that were hard to understand. When Jesus was just 8 days old, they took him to the temple to present him to God, as was the custom. Old Simeon was there waiting. When he saw the baby, he said something like this: "Now I can die. I've seen the Messiah." When Jesus was almost 12 years old, Mary and Joseph lost him in Jerusalem and found him in the temple. He said, "Didn't you know I would be in my Father's house?" But what did that mean? Joseph's house was in Nazareth, where the carpentry shop was. The boy grew more confusing as he grew to be a man. When he started teaching, Jesus went to his home synagogue and he read from the scroll of Isaiah about the coming of the Messiah. Then he said he was the one. Mary must have remembered the angel Gabriel, but the people of Nazareth were angry. They tried to throw him off a cliff. At a wedding, he changed water into wine. And another time, Mary and his brothers went to see him as he was teaching. And he told them that the people who followed him were his family, not them. Now his brothers were confused. Then Jesus went to Jerusalem for the last time, and Mary was there. When they put him up on the cross, she stood watching, probably near John. People have written beautiful and sad music about this. That music is called the Stabat Mater because the mother is just standing. What was she thinking about? Then Jesus lifted his head and said to Mary, "Mother, here is your son." And to a disciple, "Son, here is your mother." The disciple, who was probably John, took Mary to his home and cared for her in her old age. When they took Jesus down from the cross, Mary was still there. People have made statues and drawn pictures of Mary holding Christ in her lap. These are called pieta, which means pity and a kind of adoring. That is probably how Mary felt. The next day was quiet and painful for Mary. The next day, the first Easter, was Sunday, and she and the other women walked slowly to the place where Jesus' body had been placed in a tomb. Mary needed to be close to him. But when they got there, someone had rolled the stone away from the door. And Jesus somehow was with them, as he still is with us today. When the disciples came down from Mount Olivet after Jesus ascended, Mary was with them. She and his brothers were in the upper room with the others. Mary was there a week later when a strong wind blew and the Holy Spirit came down like fire. We don't know when Mary died or was buried, but she was truly the Mother of God. After she was grown, she kept on growing. People feel very close to her still. Some people make pilgrimages to places where she seems to be close. This is a story, then, that has no ending. And so, instead of an ending, we're going to lay down Mary's flowers. These are called forget-me-nots, and Mary will never